Hello my friends, welcome to Bookla's channel. In today's video I'm really excited to present you our new booking component for the Webflow. Our team has been working really hard to make this happen, and the final result is just amazing. You can create something like this, or something like that. And the configuration and integration is so straightforward that it can't be even easier. So, I will guide you through all steps how to integrate the booking component into your Webflow website. So, let's get started. Okay, we are in Webflow, and for this tutorial I just took a free template that I really love how it looks, and I think it will work beautifully with Bookla component. So here, if we scroll a little bit down, I already prepared the container where I would like to put the booking component. So let's start and add the component here. First of all, you need to open the Bookla app for the Webflow. So click launch. If you are launching it for the first time, so you will need to install it first, and then you will need to give the access to your workspace or to just particular project. But as we already did that, I don't need to give access one more time. So let's go through the interface quickly, just through main tabs and also buttons. First of all, you will see three main tabs. It's Bookla API, is the details from Bookla that is required to make it work. Basically, you need to enter the API key, company ID, and service ID, and later I will show you how to get those details. And also here is a link to the documentation page where you can read more about the integration of this component in Webflow. It also has the style guide, so it explains all the parameters that it has, all the paddings and everything, so definitely you need to check this out to understand how it works. Then theme tab, where you can style the component like colors, layout, typography, and like buttons, items, and everything. And config, it's used to change, for example, the animation style when the screens are changing. Also the locale, by default it's English, but you can set a different one. But yeah, let's go through those parameters a bit later. Then on the top here we have the background color button. For example, we can change it to the gradient button. Let's let it be, I don't know, now it's too crazy. Yeah, like this. Basically, this background color is used just for you to see how the component looks on the with this background. So you can use, for example, background color of your website, or just use whatever you want just to see how the component looks. Then we have a button load from canvas. So for example, when you already added your component to the canvas, you are able to load it back to the Bookla app to add some changes like with the styling or with the configuration, so you don't need to create that from scratch. Also, it has platform, a link, it linked to Bookla platform where you can register, and also docs link. It's a documentation website where you can read everything about Bookla, how to integrate it, the API and everything. And also, important button is add to canvas. So when everything is configured, you can just press this button and add the component to the canvas. So I will guide you through these steps, so just no worries for now. And the component itself. By default, it uses demo data to make it much simpler, not to like starting with the Bookla itself, but you can check how the component works. So, but not to forget to put the real data. We have this orange banner that shows, hey, you are using demo data. So probably something is wrong. You just need to change it. Okay, that's regarding the app interface. Now let's go tab by tab. So let's start with theme section. It's responsible for look and feel of your component. Here you can change the colors, the border, also the font size and different paddings and sizing. So, but let's go tab by tab, and the first one is theme itself, where you can change like the basic colors of the component. For example, you can change the background color. If you choose it to be like a solid color, you can use the solid. But also it's possible to use the liner or radial gradients. So for example, if we want to use the gradient, we can just select 2 colors or even more. You can just click add more colors and use as many colors as you need. And also you can change the angle. For example, let's say we want to use 65, so the angle changes of the gradient. And also you can change the color of the text, secondary text, and all this. And for example, for the border, if we want to use the border for our component, we can also enable the border, put, for example, 2 here. And also you have like different styles of border, and also you can change the color. But let's say we don't need the color, so we're just disabling it. The next tab is layout, where you can change the paddings, corner radius, like grid gap, row gap, and also the spacing with the text. Then typography, where you can change the font settings. For example, the font family, by default it's Inter and like System UI, but let's say you want Arial, and here you are. Or you want, I don't know, cursive, and here you are. You can use basically any CSS font family that is available, but let's keep the original one. Also, you can change the font size, like the base font size and the large. So for example, in different components, so we're just using different only these 2 basically sizings, and you can just play with the sizing and check what fits best. Also the font weight, and we have a normal and medium, but you can change those parameters, and also it will let's change to 200, for example, and you see, so here it's changed to 200, but also let's keep the default one. Also line height, for example, on the next screen, when you, for example, finished your bookings, there is a text, thank you for the booking, and see you tomorrow, or any text that you will enter. And here this line height, so it's used for title and for the text itself. Then the buttons, here it's basically this button, and for example, if we go to the next screen, we will see also 2 buttons. It's the primary and the secondary button. And here you can change the paddings, the corner radius, let it be 4, I don't know. And then different states, so normal, hover, and disabled. And you can set different colors. And basically here you can change colors for the button states. Then the same for the secondary button. For example, we want to change the background color to, let's say, red. We can do that. And then the hover, you see, so it will be the white color, and it transitions to white color. Then we have icon button. So this is the small, these small buttons. And also if you use the booking with the tickets, there will be icons like plus and minus. So then this icon button also has different colors. For example, let's say we want to change the color of this, and you see it changes here. Then let's close it, and next go to item. Item, it's these items right here, and right here. And you can also change the paddings, the corner radius. For example, let's make it 4, and you see all the corner radius changed. And also it has different states, like normal, selected, hover, and disabled. So for example, disabled, if we can go back here where dates are not available, it will be in disabled state. Then we have a list. list is used for tickets. If you are using the service with the service type ticket, then you will see a list of tickets, and these parameters will be responsible for how this list is displayed. Then the form. For example, if you are going next, here is the form, and you can edit also the paddings and colors. For example, for the field, we can change the color like that, and also we can change the border and the text color. And the summary screen, it's used on the last step when, for example, you are adding more fields to custom form, and then this summary styling will be used. So that's it for the theme section. Now let's move to the next tab, and it's config. Here you can configure some parameters that are not related to color and paddings and spacing and all this stuff. For example, you can change the animation type. By default, the animation type is slide. It's basically when you just go in next, so it slides back and forth. For example, you can use fade animation, and it will just fades the states. Or you can use flip animation, and it will flip. And also there is a stack animation that just adds next screen straight to the bottom, and you can just go step by step. In this case, the user sees all the previous selections like step by step. But let's change back to slide. The next one is locale. By default, it's English locale, but you can set, for example, I don't know, Spanish, and you see it changes. First of all, it changes all the dates, like names of months, also the format of time. For example, if we'll use N, you see it's AM and PM. But if it's like European, let's say Italy, so it will show like 8, 16 and 18. And also it changes the names of the months here. So select the date. For example, you want to put the component and pre-select exact date. I don't know, you have like some event on particular date, or you want to promote some special date when there will be like a special discount, and you can pre-select this date. Let's say it's Friday 11th, or for example like Tuesday 15th. And when you put the component to your workspace, this parameter will be active, and when it loads for your customers, it will straight away focus on this particular date. But just remove it. By default, it's today. Then the next one is times, and here you can just edit the text for the time section. For example, select, I don't know, start time, and you see here it changes. So I think let's change the background color back to white, because I'm not that great designer, so to make it look really cool. So I think by default it looks much better. So let's go back to config, and yeah, and in times you see, so we just changed this text. Also, for example, if there is no times available, so it will, so here basically we have all the dates available, but if we don't have available dates, it will show no available times. So this text, basically in config tab, you can define all the texts that are available in the component. And also, for example, this continue button. Also, by default, the guest checkout is enabled. It means that every customer who will make the booking need to enter the data, like first name, last name, and email. But component also supports like pre-authorized customer. But I will make a separate tutorial how to achieve that. It basically how to authorize the customer in the component and also on the website to like connect all the bookings that this user makes to one particular customer. It's not like creating the new customer every time with the booking, but it's a topic for another tutorial. So then resource, it's this section, and if you don't want the customer to select the resource, you can just disable it, and here it's not visible. For example, if you have I don't know, 3 people who are providing the service, and you don't care who will take the booking, and the customer like doesn't care, so then you can just disable it. Or for example, if you have just one resource and it's like there is no sense to have just one option selectable. But let's return it, and also you can just change the text if it's enabled, like the select resource, for example, like select a person, and here you see, so it automatically changes. So then guest mode, as I already said, by default it's enabled, and for example, if you are going to the next step, you can edit those texts like first name and also the error if this text is not entered, and the last name, email, the same story with that. Success screen. So when we made a booking, for example, let's say book now, and here is the success screen. And for example, you can just change booking has been scheduled for mercoledì. I don't know how it's in Italian, it's 9, but 9 or something like that. And you can also use, for example, these template parameters. In the documentation section, you can read a bit more about those parameters, but basically those parameters are replaced with the real data of the booking. For example, the date and the time, and also the email of the person. So here, for example, you see confirmation email has been sent to email. Then we go into pending screen. Basically, it looks almost the same, just the icon is different, and this text is used when your booking is in pending state. For example, you selected that somebody need to confirm the booking, and then customer will see that, hey, somebody will confirm your booking, just stay tuned. And the error screen, if something went wrong, you can also change the text. Then the buttons, like book now, login button, back button, and loading text. Also the group, for example, for group services, where you are using it for classes registration. So you can just change the text participants to something else. And then duration, where the customer is able to select the duration. For example, for flexible services, it's like tennis court booking or some bookings where customer need to select the time that he or she is booking. Then tickets, the same, like ticket section, these texts if you are using ticket service, so you will be able to change those parameters. Terms and conditions, for example, let's go to book again, and if we are enabled the terms and conditions, so by default it's disabled, but for example you need the customer to agree with terms and conditions, and you can just enable it, and you see this like part was added, and by default we have this text that also can be changed, and also the terms URL that contains text and URL itself, and you can add multiple URLs. For example, we want for terms one URL, and for conditions it will be another URL, and you see it's automatically underlined, and when you click on it, it will redirect you to the conditions these like terms and conditions of this particular service. And you can here use also HTTP or HTTPS links, so it's not a problem. And the last one is form. Basically, you can add multiple form items to this step. For example, you can click Add Field, and there are different types of fields. So it's text, number, text area, phone, URL, select, and multi-select. So for example, for text, let's say we want to collect the company, and let's make it required, and then we need to enter the text. But okay, let's make it not required. Save, and you see it's automatically displayed here. And when the customer is making the booking, so he needs to put this data as well. And you can add as many additional fields as you need, and the person will be required to enter this data. And this data will be displayed in your portal. So basically you can just collect as many data from the customer as you need. So, and that's it for the config tab. Now we have styled and configured our component, and we can start connecting it with Bookla. So we need to switch to Bookla API tab, and we need the following settings. So the region, there are two regions, US and EU, and the region basically depends on the Bookla website that you have been registered. So as I have account on US platform, and here these two addresses basically defines which region you need to use. In our case it's US, and by default it's US. Now I will guide you just a little bit through the Bookla interface, where you can just create your resources and services and everything. You can also check my other videos where I explain a bit more about those interface and all the items. But for now, let's just quickly go through all the steps that are required to launch the new service. For example, the resource, we can add a new one. Basically, the resource is just item or a person or something that can be booked. So it can be like, yes, employee, or for example, I don't know, like tennis court or guest house or the venue where you're selling tickets. But for now, let's just creating the resource, and let's call it Igor's. So I will be providing some maybe demo calls, I don't know. Click create, and here we have Igor's, and we need to define the working hours. Let's just define that every weekday from, for example, 9 till 6. The priority is default, and basically we don't need those parameters, as these working hours just default for Igor's, and we don't need to precise anything. Just create. All right, Igor's now working from 9 till 6. There is another tab closing periods, where you can define, for example, if the resource is not available for a particular time period, you can just add the closing period. But for us, it's not needed here. And now let's add a new service that basically Igor are gonna provide. Let's click plus, and the service name will be Igor's service. Click next, and we need to select the service type. For us it will be fixed, because like every demo call can be like 30 minutes, and that will be enough. But for example, if you want your service to be booked by the duration what customer can select, you can use flexible. So for example, like customer can select, it can be booked for 30 minutes, 1 hour, or like 2 hours. The group is for group bookings, ticket it's for tickets, where you can just create multiple tickets, and days it's for long-term bookings. But for us, fixed is working. And the duration, let's put it 30 minutes. Booking policy, instant booking, and we have 3 options. also need confirmation and need a prepayment. So need confirmation, what I told you earlier, in this case there will be a pending state of the booking. And needs prepayment, you can enable payments, for example through Stripe, and the customer when want to book something, then the payment is required before the client can make a booking. But for now, let's make an instant booking, and also you can customize the booking interval. It's the interval when the booking is available. For example, if the duration is 1 hour, but the booking interval is 30 minutes, then, for example, the client will see that the time is available at 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30, etc. But we don't need to customize it because by default 30 minutes is fine for us, and click create. And now Igor service is created. But to understand that this service is provided by Igor, we need to link this resource with this service with the resource. And we're just creating a link with Igor's. And now Igor's has been linked to the service. You can link multiple resources to particular service because, for example, like some employees can provide the same service. Also, you can set the pricing here, like the currency and then the pricing rule. But for example, demo call is free of charge. It would be great to charge for demo calls, but we can't do that. And then settings, where you can set if it's like a booking policy, you can change it here, duration, time interval, and also buffer before and buffer after. If you need some kind of delay, for example, if you don't want somebody to make a booking earlier than 2 hours before now, so then you can just set the buffer before. But for now it's fine. We can just click here preview button to check if it works. We can select Igor as a resource, or we can just leave any resource, and let's select, for example, tomorrow date. Yeah, we see that everything works, and from 9 and the last time is available, it's 5:30. So everything working, and now we can start copying the data that is required for our Webflow component. First of all, we need the company ID. You can click on the company, and here is the ID. Just click copy button, and we can go back to Webflow and put the company ID here. Also, when you go back, now you need a service ID. Here you need to select the service, so it's already pre-selected, and on the top side you also have this copy button for the ID. Just copy it and paste here. So yeah, it shows that something in the progress, like that you are entering the data. And the last thing is the API key. To get the API key, you need to go to developers section right here in Bookla. And here is the section for the API keys. Just click create API key, put a name, for example, Webflow key. And one important thing, please don't select all the permissions here for the merchant, because if somebody will steal your API key from the UI, because right now we are generating the API key for the UI, for the client side, and if somebody will steal it, so with this API key it will be possible like to change, for example, service, resource, or like price rules and everything. So in this case we just need to create the API key with client permissions. So just select the last three, client service, client resource, and guest client, because we are using the guest checkout. Click create, and now the API key is generated, and for the security purposes it will be shown only once, and as soon as you close it, it will not be possible to copy it again. You need to create a new API key. So just click copy button, go back to the Webflow and put the API key here. And our component has been loaded with our settings that we just entered for this particular service. As we see, the person is Igor's, and the available times that are shown here can be selected. So for example, yeah, we can select any day here. So looks like it works. And now it's time to put that into our Webflow website. Now let's add the component to our canvas. To do that, you need to select the container where you're gonna insert the booking component. So for example, I created the container and I already named it Bookla, so to differentiate in the list of layers, so where the Bookla is. And right now, just click Add to Canvas button. And the component has been pasted. Just close it and check. So as Webflow can't display custom scripts on the canvas, we are creating the container just to show how the component will look. So just with the same background, corner radius, and text published to see the Bookla widget. So to see basically the final result, you just need to publish the website. Let's publish it. And then we will be able to see the result. So now we are opening the website. So it's loaded, and just go down and we see that our component is here with the same styling as we did. So we can basically check if it works. And now let's go back to the Webflow and, for example, let's try to load our current settings, what we have to show in our app. We need to open the app back again, and then we need to select the Bookla component here, like the layer, and click the button Load from Canvas. And you see all the settings were loaded back. So all the colors and service ID, API key, so everything is here, and we can just edit it. For example, let's change the background color and click Add to Canvas again, and it was added back to the canvas with all the edits that we did. And now we can just publish it again and check how it looks. Just refreshing the page. And now we see that the new updated version is there. So simple as that. As you see, my friends, the integration was really easy and straightforward. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to this channel because I'll be publishing more and more videos covering different aspects of the booking component. For example, how to add payments, how to send email confirmations or reminders, or for example, how to add tickets. So please subscribe and see you soon. Bye.